You know, if you were just...
Well, the old plow, I picked it up over at Shannon's mother's several years ago and had it painted up, but it's an old, called a one-horse plow that she used for the 30 years that I knew her, and she probably had it over 30 years on the place before that, and it's actually disintegrating. I really don't know what to do to preserve it. And also the rose that's growing on it came from her old home place in Grandin, I'd say at least 50 years ago. I got the start of the flower from her. And many of the flowers that I do have here came from her old home place. And the peonies in here came from our home place out on Blair. Of course, they've had their heyday, it's over, but the flowers in this are sort of sentimental flowers. Someday, when all the children get their own home, I intend to give them some flowers from both of their grandparents' home. Of course, they won't be the original flower, but they'll be starts from it because I got these from them. This is going to be beautiful.
You bet that will be.
Kids are mowing it down that way, maybe. And we're going to smell it. We're going to go smell it.
Honeysuckle. Oh, yeah.
Gladly. You gonna smell, Mom? Take a smell right there.
Gotta watch or you'll get bee stung.
What is it?
Honeysuckle.
Well, it's actually wild honeysuckle, but it's grown on the fence rows around here. You'll see it in all the old graveyards, all the old farm places. It'll be all over the fences. It's
You
a
can
type
make
of
beautiful woven baskets out of honeysuckle.
out of
Stems.
these long stems. Makes
See?
good baskets.
Say that again.
I say you can make beautiful woven baskets with honeysuckle stems. With these, cut them
Let them dry.
and let them dry, but then you soak them before you start weaving, and they make really beautiful baskets. That's what a lot of the old timers, and I imagine that's what the Indians did before, to make baskets.
Well, it's a Clearwater spring, and it's good for drinking. In fact, a lot of the trail riders like to stop here and get a drink. I usually have a cup hanging on the tree there. But every spring, in order to get the leaves and the dirt and things out, I dip it dry with a bucket. And of course, the water's flowing in all the time. You have to dip pretty fast. Then I take a gallon of Purex and pour all around it to kill the fungus. And then in about 3 hours, it's all filled back up with water again, ready to go. And the water is perfectly clear the whole time.
What number project was this? Would you?
This was actually my first one after I started extending the yard. And the pear tree and the flower bed was my first extension. And then every year I kept going up the hill 6 to 8 to 10 feet. And every year till this year, actually, I have increased the yard. But so far I haven't, but I'm not, the summer's just starting, so I may get there yet. But I brought these rocks, most of them, from Sutton's Creek, so that's another pastime. Find pretty ones. Down in here you'll see a lot of tiny ones. See these all glued in? Those are all just picked up from the beach. And
Is this what they call sponge rock, Dorothy?
I really don't know.
See, it looks like a sponge.
Could be. They're fossil rocks, actually, because you can see the fossils in them, but what caused them to form, I really don't know. But the rocks are just placed in there. They're not cemented down. When I first moved here, this was just a farm. We had a small yard, and this was a pasture. There was a fence running all the way up the road, and this was more or less a calf pasture. And eventually I took the fence out. First I planted flowers on the fence row, as you can see, because they're in lines and rows. And then as I started increasing the yard, this was my first area to start mowing after I mowed the yard. The next spring I moved across the creek. Next spring I moved up about 6 more feet, up the hill a little farther. And in a matter of about 18 years, I went from a small yard to, I don't know, this probably amounts to about 2 acres, don't you think now, at least? It takes 4 of us, me, my husband, and 2
Wait
children.
just a second, Dorothy, can you speak?
Yes, well, it takes 4 of us about 2 10-hour days if we're in a hurry to get it through, to get this all mowed and trimmed and ready if we want to have special company or something. A lot of the time I use it as daily exercise to get out and trim various areas. But with 2 lawnmowers and 2 other people to spell off on each lawn. 4 people and 2 lawnmowers, 2 of us are resting while 2 mow. And it takes us at least 2 10-hour days. We don't always do it in 2 days, but I like to because it grows up so fast that if you don't hurry up and get it done, the first part you mowed's grown up before you can sit around and look at it and enjoy it of a morning. And this is the time I like to come out and sit and look and watch the birds and listen to them sing, especially now that I have my bluebirds. And I hear him fussing, so we're too close to the nest. But I want you to now notice the difference, see, Mom?
Yeah.
This one's real lacy, and it has no odor at all, though.
No, yeah.
Does this one still have some?
Not too much. I imagine the heat's...
They're very definitely different.
Yeah.
Notice the... There's no comparison.
No.
I'll have to get my horticulturist over and see if
it's really...
actually a mock orange. It may not be.
Maybe something else.
Very definitely may not be.
That's what you bought it for, though.
Because I bought this flower because I have 1 to 2 to 3 of about everything that I know, and I didn't have this one. And this is its first year to bloom. And it's very different. I kept thinking it was going to be like this.
Yeah.
Yours like this is already gone. I'll just pick me a small bouquet. Put it on the coffee table and then I can enjoy it.
Those are pretty, these little buds on here, I think.
I know, but I want to look at them later. Lay down, I'm not going to hurt you. The ticks off. Yeah, need the ticks off.
What does this mean to men in general, your men and other men, all of this that you've done here?
Well, each year, actually, I think Shannon appreciates it. He likes to show it to people, and he likes to sit around and look at it and enjoy it. And the children do, too, because they're ready to help me mow it and get it ready whenever it's time to mow. They really think it's beautiful down here, especially the ones that I have one that's in college now. And as long as they're here and among it, they don't really say a lot. But once they leave and then they come back, it means more to them than it did before for some reason.
I've heard people say that one of the things about the Ozarks is that people don't appreciate beauty as much as in some other places. What do you think about that?
Well, maybe in the past that was so, but I don't think it is now.
Make a statement about that.
Well, the older Ozarkians may not have appreciated beauty, but I think that the most of them do now because you see so many of them doing so much with their places. And it definitely doesn't apply to my family because they love the beauty, and maybe I sort of taught it to them because I do so much with it. But all of mine love the flowers and to watch the birds and to do the things that I do. And it may be something that they have just gained from me.
Who taught you to appreciate beautiful things?
Well, actually, I'm sure that it was my mother because when I was small, we went for long walks with her in the woods to dig roots and pick flowers. And when I mean long walks, I mean a half a day with our wrapped file and our searching for ginseng and golden seal and Indian snake root. And I don't know what the others were, Mom, do you? Some of the others we dug. Wild ginger, bloodroot.
Yeah.
We'd play with that, but it wasn't expensive enough to go with much.
Well, why are you looking for roots? Tell us about that.
Well, for little extra money to buy, some people would say maybe foolishness, but it would buy. Then you could buy a yard of material for 9 cents and to make dresses for the girls.
I think several years in a row she made enough money from digging roots to give us all 3 a new Easter dress.
Tell us how much ginseng and blood roots it would take to get material to make a dress, say?
Ginseng was about $5 and something a pound then, but it's hard to get a pound. And golden seal was $1.25 a pound, and it would take quite a long time, several days of steady digging to get enough, and wash it and dry it. You had to wash it real good to get the top price, and then dry it, lay it out in the sun and dry it. But we had a really enjoyable time of it.